Hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? I have not done a video like this in a really, really long time. I don't even remember if I've done one. If I did, I probably didn't talk about other brands. I may have been talking about brands that I was promoting at one point, and then other things, better things were released, or else or I just talked about, with maybe in the empties videos or different things like that, but not talking about performance or product comparisons. So this is kind of like a mix of different brands. Some things I represented before in the past. Some things are brands I represent now. They're just not my favorite products in their line, as well as things that I have. They might work for you. Some of them are viral products that everyone's talking about still and recommending, but for whatever reason they didn't work great for me, and that's okay. If you're having great results with these, that's fine too. What works, not everything works for everybody's skin type, skin tone, preferences, wearability. Everybody's got different ideas of different things that they like to wear and what feels good to them. So as always, wear what feels good to you. Do what feels good to you, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But these are just some things with my opinions on products and how my experiences with them have gone. So, okay, first things first, the banana powder. Okay, I was fully on board with this banana powder trend, and everybody was talking about banana powder this, banana powder that, and then we started selling this under our corporate umbrella, and I tried to like it, I tried to get into it, but for me, it's just too yellow. It's just too yellow, and it's just not, it's the powder is a little too thick. And it's too warm and too yellow. If you have great results with this, but I have not seen the use. If I have a pressed powder, if I already have a translucent powder, and I have a powder foundation that I might use, or use cream foundation and then use finishing powder, something like that, I don't see a need for this. Okay, so not to say this could be your favorite powder, but it's just not mine. So okay, so this one I bought because everybody on TikTok was talking about this, and I wanted to try it out. The Essence Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation. This is one of the oiliest. Now, I think a lot of this has to do with the dewy foundation being really, really in right now. Granted, it's a full coverage foundation. Yes, it's a full coverage foundation. But you can even see the amount of oil that is in this foundation. My makeup brushes were instantly dirty in trying to blend this out. Okay, let me grab my makeup brushes were instantly greasy and never got clean after I used this a couple of times. And I had to re-clean them because of the amount of the thickness and the greasiness. Plus, I know some people said, I got compliments on it when I had it on. I go, this is the foundation I have on, da 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 da. But I did not like the coverage. I did not like how I look so greasy. I felt like right away I needed to powder my face. I don't like starting out that oily. I know the dewy look is in. I'd rather have the look of dewy created with multiple powders, but not have my face be a grease pit. Okay? All right. So the Wowie Lash from LA Colors. This was a Dollar Tree when I was doing the Dollar Tree comparison, Dollar Tree haul, whatever. As soon as I opened it up, now granted, I love the shape of the brush. As soon as I opened it up, it's that nasty, cheap smelling mascara smell that's full of chemicals. This is, if you can handle the chemicals that are in these cheaper makeup products, And granted, not all the inexpensive brands have those products. Some of them are getting much better in taking out a lot of the ingredients. Okay, Avon's one of them. But this one from LA Colors is full of chemicals. I smell it. It reminds me of those old mascaras from 50 years ago that were my older sisters when they were teenagers. And you found it in a drawer. It does not smell like a new, fresh mascara. And that has to do with the ingredients, okay? So be aware that if these mascaras do work for you, but be aware that they're full of certain chemicals that many other brands are starting to take out. Also, when I try these brands that have these chemicals in them that have that old school smell, my eyes start twitching. My eyes start twitching and I start having a lot of problems. So those of you who have allergies, like, looking for hypoallergenic makeup, this is not one of them, okay? The same thing goes with the Chic Glam liner, okay? The Chic Glam liner, gorgeous. Actually goes on and dries down faster than Avon's Glimmer cream liner that I'm such a fan of. This, within 2 minutes of being on my eye as a liner, my eye also started twitching. I put this on separate on a different day than I wore this. I put this on just with the rest of my makeup that never irritates me. When I had this on, my eye was twitching all day. Couldn't wait to get it off, okay? So this didn't have a scent, okay? Didn't have that chemical smell, but I did have a similar reaction as to how it was when I had this on. So whatever is in this is that, it also, maybe it might be something that makes the color, I'm not sure. But just so you know. Okay, so this one, the Essence Stay 8-hour Stay Matte, ended up, I'm trying to think what was wrong. A color I liked, but it was still a little more brown, and it wasn't thick enough. Our matte, Avon's matte liquid lipstick, and as well as the Creme Shop's matte liquid lipstick are much thicker and creamier. This is almost more like I would call a combination of a stain and a matte liquid lipstick. It's kind of like in between. It's a little thin, and I don't like how it goes. On. Color-wise, like I said, it's a pretty color, but it still was not the color that I was looking for, okay? Online, this looked much lighter. I was looking for a pinky nude, and this is still more a brownie orangey nude, okay? All right. You can even see from the residue when you wipe it. Okay. The Creme Shop concealer, Cover Story full coverage concealer, was not full coverage. Okay, and this was from, I don't know if we still have it on our websites, but this was much thinner. And this also it smells like magic markers, okay? This smells like magic markers, or some of you all remember poppers from the 70s, 70s and 80s on the dance floor, this smells like poppers, okay? Makeup should not have a chemical smell like that, and also too thin. The color was fantastic. I like the coverage. The color was fantastic, but it was not as full coverage as it says it is. And the smell, okay? The smell. I don't know what they're doing with these products. It's just too much. All right. Same thing with this. I thought this was a Be Pure Hydrating Lip Gloss. I think this was Dollar Tree. This was, I saw this and I thought, oh, wow, this is great. This is great. This is a perfect color. So sheer, nothing. Okay, plus when it's on, it's nowhere near, it's just almost like I would call it a sheer paint, and it's not, I'd like my lip gloss to be a little thicker than this, and it wasn't enough color put out, okay? And when I had it on, my lips started to feel weird, okay? I can't explain it. It didn't feel like how they feel with a lip plumper, but it definitely had like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of reaction. I sort of have a reaction. So I'm very conscious of these products, okay? All right, Chic Glam. I ordered a bunch of lipsticks from Chic Glam. I ordered 4 lipsticks actually from She Glam, and I'm only keeping 1, okay? This is an actually stunning color, but there was a smell to this, and it still was much darker, more like a brick red, much darker than it was advertised on their website, okay? And then they do have this magnet thing. Oh, there we go. It has to be a certain way for the magnet thing, and that also gets on my nerves. Either make the magnet be right, and you have to put it on just a certain way. If you put it on this way, then you're flim-flamming around, okay? But it was more, if anything, more the color. I must have 10 lipsticks this color, all that end up coming up and never being the color I need. This is always ends up being more this weird orangey red brick color, and not nude, not a blue base red. It's always an orangey color, and it's not what it seems, okay? It's almost like a darker version of this thing, and I don't want a dark. I want what's advertised, okay, for whatever the color was. Same thing with these, okay? These were the higher end of the lipsticks of She Glam's. Now, granted, She Glam's is, very inexpensive, but same thing with this one. Look, orange. This is supposed to be nude, okay? Advertised as a light pale pink nude online, and ends up being orange. And also had a weird scent. And then the same thing with this one. I thought it would be blue base, and it's still orangey. Okay, too orange. If you like orangey colors, let me know. Okay, because all I've done, I only put them on, I think, one time, or tested them on my hand one time. Also, the same thing here. Look, it only goes to where the name is. If you're in a hurry, you have to sit and you have to, okay? It does click on and stay on, but you have to put it on just the right way or else, okay? A lot of times our lives are not that busy. We're busy people and we don't have time. Now this is, what was this? This actually, I think I'm going to keep. This was our Tipsy marker in our Tipsy line, which I wasn't too much of a fan with, but then I was playing with another one, another marker on my brows, but this by itself isn't enough, okay? What I started doing was just drawing little pieces and then taking a brown shadow and then feathering it. So this I think I was on the fence about, and there's a couple other things I'm on the fence about too that I'm going to talk about. Okay. So another thing is NYX. This is Milky Gloss. Online, these companies really have to do better in terms of getting the colors. Granted, I know that all computers vary, all screens vary, whatever, but this was meant to be a pale lavender, okay? So much paler than this. And it was meant to, I guess I see more like the color that is right there. Okay, so and this is milky. Okay, and it's not that milky, and B, it's deeper. It's like a different shade of purple. Okay, and it's too sheer. Okay, if you're gonna have it be a color, but see, look, you have to do a lot to make the color show up. So it ends up being just a hint of this, and still not the shade I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little paler. So then you either have to, it's either nothing and you get no color and you may as well just have a clear gloss, or you have this other color which ends up being more the color of the cap, but it wasn't the color that I wanted. So, and it's not really all that milky, okay? It's not that milky. All right, so we have 2 of our Avon mascaras, which we still sell, and if you're a fan of these, that's great. These are these are still super popular products. I have customers that order them all the time. These just don't work for me. The waterproof, wash off waterproof. I'm so glad we still have this because there are many customers who love this mascara. This still has that older smell. And Avon needs to do better and reformulate this to get this up to date. Also, the brush and the formula for me does not work as well as the Love at First Lash waterproof and the regular Lover First Lash. Okay, it just doesn't it doesn't do anything for my. Same thing with our Nourishing. Okay, this is our Nourishing mascara, super, what do they call it, Super Extend. This is, I would just call it very basic mascara. It does okay, but it might, literally I'll put it on and my lashes will start to sag. So I know that there are many who love this. This used to have a copper cap, but they changed it to formulate it into the Glimmer line to kind of roll it in, because they have all these odds and ends from other lines that they used to have, the True Color line and a few others, and things that had, and they rolled it in. This, I think they did change the formula, because it still has a hint. It still has a hint of that what I call old school mascara, but not as bad as it used to. But for whatever reason, I don't get a lot of extension with this. I don't get a lot of nourishment, because I feel that our Love First Lashes, our Love First Lash mascara in the regular and the waterproof, moisture have with the infused with vitamin E, they really are great with my better with my lashes than any of our mascaras. There's some other brands that I like as well, but as far as Avon goes, our Love First Lash are much better. Okay, now this one was the Unique Beachfront Kiss. This was a capsule line for the summer. This came out, I guess, a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years ago now. I can't even get it open. Well, see, that's another thing. It's a problematic thing. It was a gorgeous gold shadow, and it's still pretty pigmented and stuff, but it's now like 5 years old. And it was actually pretty good, but it did have a tendency to, once you used it, something I've noticed about a lot of these gold shadows is, and I use gold a lot, is you get a lot of fallout from it. So this has seen better days. It's over 5 years old, and I kept saying, oh, I still love that, I still love that, but it's getting to the point where it's time to let it go. You can see how much fallout you get on your hand from that. Okay, last but not least, and I have been debating on whether to let this go or not, I have loved duochrome shadows since they first came out in 1980. A lot of people act like duochromes are a big deal, but they are not. Okay, I mean, yes, they're a big deal, but they act as if they just came out. Okay, 1980 was when certain brands came out. All of a sudden, we had regular, you had regular brands in department stores, and you had the drugstore stuff. There were certain brands, we call them funkier brands, that all of a sudden started to pop up. They would start to have weird little funky makeup stores pop up in malls, and you start to have in areas that sold a lot of trendy clothing. Like in our area in DC, we had Georgetown, and they had these shadows that looked purple but also looked blue at the same time. They had a eyeshadow as well as a lip gloss that when you put it on, almost looked like a pale blue because it had that duochrome. And then one also looked sort of greenish, one also looked sort of pink. Then L'Oreal came out with, it was called Sea Lily, okay, and Sea Le Fleur, if you're a long-time makeup person, and then Sea Violette. Those all had duochrome. They were lips and lip glosses, and they had nail polishes that had that look where you looked at it and it was purple, but it also had a blue reflect, okay? And so they weren't just a shimmer, not a purpley shimmer, but it had that flip. It had that flip to it. It was a pink that also had a bluish look, or a pink that also had a gold reflect, okay? So for years and years and years, that went away once the 90s, things got very plain and things were more subdued. Early 2000s, things started to come back. And when we started to get the glitter again and all those things, the way the trend cycle goes, right? Okay, so suddenly we get this high-end makeups and people are going to Ulta and Sephora and all these glitter and blah, 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 blah. Suddenly I started seeing these duochromes again. And it was unbelievable, okay? And I was like, oh my God, they're come back. So of course I started buying them and started playing with them and putting them in my makeup. Then Anastasia, of course, we know, came out with the brow kits and then started coming out with her makeup. And then suddenly this Moonchild palette, it's so iconic. It's unbelievable. What was it, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8, 9, 10? I don't even remember how long ago this is. Does it even say? Copyright, no, it doesn't say. Okay. Does not say what year this came out. But because I didn't even buy it right away when it first came out, okay? But this one, and at the time it seemed like such a big deal, right? It came out, it's such a big deal. But what I ended up doing was, because my favorite is the Blue Ice, okay? This is what I'm talking about. See how it has white, but it has that blue reflect, and it has that shimmery blue. And then this one, pink, it's white, but it has that pinky look, okay? Then this one, the Lucky Clover with the green. These, of course, are the three that I've used the most. This I've had at least 6 years, okay? And then Star Blue Moon and Purple Horseshoe. The Purple Horseshoe had a little bit of the reflect. Blue Moon was really more like a silver, okay? It was just its own. And then the same thing with Star, really just, they're just silvery reflect, okay? To me, a silver reflect or a gold, a simple gold reflect is not the same as, because it's silver on silver, or lavender purple on purple, okay? But when you have something that has, let's say, is purple that has a blue reflect, or white that has a blue reflect, or pink that has a pink reflect, or white that has a green reflect, that in itself is a true duochrome. Okay, so basically they're all shimmers, of course, because a shimmer means it's not solid like a matte. But I ended up only using these three the most, and really mainly these two. But at this point, it has seen better days, even though I haven't even hit pan. 6 years, 7 years, to me, that's a long enough to have had something. I can always replace it, but there are now better versions of this, because now, once again, especially as things get older, things tend to have that more crumbly effect, and as well as, it's just, bacteria's in there and whatever. So I'm letting that go too. So anyway, that is my anti-haul. Let me know if you'd like to see other anti-haul videos. Pretty much I have a tendency to hang on to things that I really like for a long time, keep buying what I really like for a long time. Same thing with hair products. I'm not one that switches around a lot, only with, a few things that, I might get the new things that come out. And, of course, there's clothes. I tend to, if anything, buy clothes and then be like, nope, never going to get that one again. Or get a lot of disappointments from things from online shopping, which is why I tend to do more, in-person shopping. And these were, I'd say, this NYX one and a few of these others, this Essence and the NYX, those I bought online, Ulta online. But even the things from Dollar Tree, I bought in person thinking that this would be exactly what I'm looking for, which would be a full coverage lip gloss, okay? Not a sheer lip gloss. And it's very hard to tell with lip glosses, okay? And then the same thing, and then a lot of other things I bought online, like these Chic lamps. I would have, if I could see the colors in person, I would have never have bought 4 lipsticks from Chic. I was so excited. And like I said, I kept one. It's still not quite what I'm looking for, but it was closer to what I was looking for. But I don't think, and then I did not know at that time that Chic Glam was part of that Sheen brand. It's their makeup brand. Now I know it's very popular with influencers. They have the dinners, they've got trips, whatever. But it is Sheen, and keep in mind, it's one of those brands that is, a lot of people don't like Sheen or Fashion Nova because it's made in China, and a lot of their how they treat their employees and their safety practices, and their they don't have, part of the reasons why a lot of companies went over there, American companies went to have employees in other countries because they could work around not having unions and having them work longer hours. And let's hope that more brands start to be doing more things where they're made in the USA so they can pay workers a fair wage, as well as build up our communities, because they've got plenty of things over there in those communities that they can have factories for. But I have not been that impressed. I have not been impressed with some of the quality. I did buy a pair of boots recently that ended up being Sheen boots that at a thrift store that I thought, well, at least I'm not buying it from that company directly. I really like the boots, and we'll see how long they last. But I've tried to not, just because I really want to spend my money in a better way. I had bought a pair of jeans from Fashion Nova, curvy jeans from Fashion Nova that were so stretchy, and they were, yes, very comfortable, but I would have never bought them in person had I felt the material. Bought them new in person. I just happened to be thrift shopping and go, okay, these are my size, look, okay. And they're okay, but I can't, it's almost like I don't want to wear them I don't want to wear them a couple days, 2 or 3, one time a week is enough because of the quality of the materials. Because I'm very sensitive to a lot of synthetic materials, just like I'm sensitive to synthetic ingredients in makeup and some of these chemicals. And the same thing with these synthetic materials that are the clothes are made out of. You can be chemically sensitive to what is in those clothes. So anyway, this is let me know if you'd like to see another one. If you've got brands of things that you like that you'd like to see me try, let me know. A lot of times I'm not just comparing things with Avon, because like I said, I've seen some things at Avon I'm not that much of a fan of. But I am comparing it to 40 years of being in the beauty business, okay? 40 years of using high-end, low-end, mid-end, every range of makeup possible, as well as keep in mind that I have normal to oily skin, as well as I have some aging skin, and so I have some issues where I'm wanting to have things work for someone who's over 50, as well as things that will still work on someone who's prone to breakout, which is a very fine line, a very hard line to be able to manage, and as well as sensitivities to all these different products. So I have learned through trial and error which brands usually don't irritate me versus which brands. So this is part of the reason why I tend to not go out. If I find something that works, I tend not to go out of my box that often. So anyway, just a little food for thought for you, or makeup for thought. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe. Bye.